Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore, and welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today we're going to continue on this series about mindful movement. So we've been working a little bit about mindful movement. We've done some simple movements, shoulder rolls, and one of the reasons to do mindful movement is because we're moving constantly. And mindful movement is a way for us to bring mindfulness into movement, which is, we're moving around, we're moving from place to place. It's possible for us to have seamless mindfulness throughout our day. And without practicing mindful movement, we maybe have a lot more trouble to bring mindfulness to the times when we're not still. One of the reasons that I don't do as much mindful movement on my channel is that I find that there's a lot of people teaching yoga out there. There's a lot of people teaching with a mindful movement element. So I think you've got a lot of variety to choose from when it comes to that style of teaching. Although maybe there's more yoga out there than there is mindful movement. So the real key to me bringing the attention to it here in this format is so that you know how to do your movement practice with mindfulness, that it isn't just a physical exercise, or that maybe just full stop, that it isn't physical exercise. That said, of course, there is a physical exercise component to it. There is an element of progress that can be felt as we regularly do mindful movement practice. And I think that is something that can be helpful for people, but also something that we can get attached to. So to become, aware of that feeling of attachment that we may have as we make progress. So the idea, of course, in any mindfulness practice is to make progress without trying to make progress. So one of the 9 attitudes of mindfulness-based stress reduction is non-striving. So is it possible for me to achieve something without trying to achieve anything at all? And I think with with sitting still practice, it's maybe easier to let go. Well, and maybe not. I think I want to say it's easier to let go because we don't actually see any physical progress necessarily. And even as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of physical progress that we do see sometimes. So if you sit in lotus posture, you can see your lotus posture develop over time as you continue doing sitting practice. So I guess the real thing to say here is not to get attached to whatever progress is being made. And as you do some mindful movement practices, like the one that we're going to do today, if you're doing it regularly, you'll notice your flexibility increasing, right? If we do this practice for 10 to 15 minutes a day, you can't help but your body become a bit more flexible. You can't help but develop a little strength, especially if you don't do much physical activity. Like this practice will certainly help. It can even help when it comes to, because there is a component of cardiovascular work here as well. So it can help with, and I hesitate to say it, weight loss, right? Like all of these things, because it is physical, right? It's some kind of physical activity. But the reason I hesitate to say it is because I really don't think that this should be the primary purpose of doing this practice. And that's why I've never taught sun salutations. I've never taught sun salutations on Insight Timer. For one, because there are people who are yoga teachers out there. I'm a meditation teacher, a mindfulness teacher, so that's different. I am a yoga practitioner, right? I do practice yoga regularly, usually 3 times a week. Sun salutations is always a component of my practice. So anyway, there are more qualified people to teach it, and secondly, because it does have this kind of gray area where it goes between being a mindful movement practice and also being exercise. So I'm always can be a bit hesitant to teach something that kind of borderline, that's on this borderline. But anyway, I think it's useful because have a slightly different angle than maybe a yoga teacher. What I want to do, and just to let you know, I teach sun salutations on the retreats that I lead, and I teach it in the most basic way possible, so that anyone can do it. And I suppose when I say anyone, that there are still limitations, but what I try to do is make it so that it doesn't matter your strength, it doesn't matter your flexibility level, that you should be able to do some of these or most of this. And what I'll do today is to not only bring it into the basic level, but also some slight variations for people that want to do it in a more intensive way. So we'll see how it goes. So I guess the first question is: Do you have your place set up? Do you have a yoga mat ready? Are you ready to do a little bit of physical activity? And the other thing to say is, of course, keep your attention in your body. Be present as much as you can as we do this. Notice where you feel it in the body as you do these kind of practices. So, where are we going to feel it? One thing about sun salutations is that we end up with flexing the spine. So do keep your attention in your lower back, and also notice in the hamstrings, but we'll see as we get going. And Micah says, I do 3 to 6 rounds of Surya Namaskar every mornings, several mornings a week, which is this is the Sanskrit for sun salutations. So it's a good practice to do, and I think the other thing that's nice about it is that it is repetitive. I find that repetitive practice helps when it comes to any kind of mindfulness activity, that as we've done it, gives us a chance to bring beginner's mind. Also, as we've done it, we might reflect back and see what it was like last time, and as well, the more that we do it, the easier it is to start to tune into the nuances, like the small details, like, oh, what's happening here? What's happening here? What's happening in this part of my body? And notice how the breath synchronizes as well. And as we do it, you may find that you go, hey, this is better than my sitting practice when it comes to holding attention, because it's another reason to do movement practice, that sometimes sitting still can be really challenging. So as we do movement practice, it gives us something else, gives us something to do, which again is another reason why I hesitate to teach these, because I'm really about the power of passive practice. Anyway, welcome. Great to have you here. Look forward to going through a few sun salutations today. So get your yoga mat or whatever it is that you're going to be using today, to at least something to protect you from the hardness of the floor. And we'll get started here shortly. Okay, so we'll begin, and I'll just talk from here for a moment. We'll begin standing, and as we start standing, using mountain posture, right? The first posture is mountain posture, where our feet will be directly below the hips. hands alongside the body, or arms alongside the body. Hands could be facing the sides, they can be facing in front, and just feeling into mountain posture. Feeling the feet against the floor. Noticing the breath, the rhythm of the breath. Noticing the position of the shoulders, the position of the hands. And on the next inhalation, so first paying attention to the breath. And so waiting for our next natural inhalation. On that inhalation, bringing the hands up, the arms up, looking towards the thumbs. And then on the next exhale, bending the knees, placing the hands on the ground, seeing if you can put your palms on the ground, bending your knees as much as you want so the ribs touch the knees, the thighs, and continue breathing here just to get a feel of this posture. And then the next inhalation, seeing if you can straighten your legs a bit, look forward. And then on your next exhalation, bring the feet back into high plank. Keep exhaling, knees to the ground, chest to the ground, chin to the ground. And then on the next inhalation, slide the body forward. See if you can use your back muscles to hold your body up, not resting weight or too much weight in the lower back. Exhaling, tucking the toes under, pressing into downward facing dog. So the idea here is you can have your knees slightly bent. Having, if we can, more of a straight line from the back all the way to the hands. So the idea is, if it's possible, to have a slight arch in the back. And what tends to happen here is we end up having a more rounding. So is it possible, in fact, to have a slight arch in the back? Just stay here and continue breathing at your own pace. And then on the next inhale, bringing the feet together between the hands. Half lift, so with the hands, palms down on the ground, looking forward, straightening the legs as much as you can. Exhale. Fold the head down, look back between the legs. And inhaling, standing all the way up, bringing the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down alongside the body again. And now resting, paying attention to how the body feels. See if you can pay attention to the breath, the heart rate, as we stand here in mountain posture once again. All right, so once again, inhale, arms up, looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, palms to the ground, looking back, ribs to the thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to high plank. Keep exhaling, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward. Lower cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes. Push back into downward dog. Just breathing at your own pace. Inhale, stepping the feet between the hands. You can even walk the feet between the hands. Half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, standing all the way up. Exhale, hands to the sides. I'll just say also, as we stand up, maybe it's, our backs aren't strong enough to stand all the way up by ourselves. We can walk with our hands up our legs. So again, the next inhale, arms up, looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees, ribs to the thighs. Inhale, straighten the legs a bit, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Keep exhaling, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, lower cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping the feet between the hands, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, standing all the way up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands to the sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back to high plank. Continue exhaling, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, slide forward, lower cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Where do you feel it, right? You feel stretching in the hamstrings and the lower back. You feel stretching in the arms and the elbows. Do you feel fatigue? What's it feel like? Inhale, step between the hands. Continue inhaling, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Arms to the sides. And then we'll do one more. Continue doing it as you were, or if you like, we can do it slightly more advanced. So do what we just did, or you can follow me for this last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, jump back. Lower down to low plank. Tuck the toes. Go to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump the feet between the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to the sides. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. So what we'll do is one last one, and then as we come through at the end, instead of standing all the way up, we're going to turn over and lie down. So inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank. Continue exhaling, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or jump the feet between the hands, and then sit down. Turn around, lie down. Now, so last time, why end lying down? This is a more practical example. So feel the heart rate. Feel the perspiration. Feel the pace of the breath. Feel the state of the body. And see if you can notice moment by moment how the state of the body is changing. Temperature perhaps cooling. Pace of the breath decreasing. Heart rate decreasing. Letting the body relax. being aware of each and every breath. Always being aware of the pace of the breath, the length of the breath. And now we'll draw our practice to the close. So maybe wiggling our fingers and toes a bit, making some small movements in the body, rolling to one side. Pressing up slowly with the hands. All right, thanks for practicing with me. And how'd it go today? Yeah, it's great to see you again, Micah. Thanks for joining today. Did you try the practice? Were you doing the practice in your mind alongside of me? What did you discover? Just leave a space here for some chat interaction. Was it easy? Was it challenging? What did you feel? I'm lucky that it's cool here today. I have a nice breeze. I don't know if there was any sound of breeze on the microphone, but it was cool and comfortable. Thanks, Sybil, for sharing. And, this is the thing, right, about our feeling of I'm flexible, I'm not flexible. We all start somewhere. I think this kind of practice I think I started in 2018. It was part of a way I found that I was injuring myself a lot. And found that yoga was really helpful in recovery, and that I injured myself a lot less when I was doing yoga, and I found that I was really inflexible. I had a hard time. I certainly couldn't touch the mat in the beginning, and in fact it's because I think I was trying to keep my legs straight. So I'd say palms on the floor, reaching towards the floor is good as well. But anyway, we all start somewhere, and over time, of course, this changes. I think when I was taking MBSR as well, there's the mindful movement portion, and I have the free recordings available on Insight Timer of the MBSR yoga, and I found just doing that was enough. Was that MBSR yoga was enough that it started to actually improve or change my flexibility. And I wasn't doing it with any intent to change my body whatsoever. So anyway, I guess another reason, as Sybil has brought up, that I don't lead this practice is because it is challenging for some people to do sun salutations, right? It's not something that everyone has everyone has the ability physically to do. So, but anyway, I think it's a good repetitive practice that I'm very happy to introduce here. Yeah, Micah says, I was doing a longer version of the salutation and time the breaths with each movement. I really enjoy it as a mindfulness and gentle movement to get my body moving at the start of the day. Regular practice, I've even 5 to 10 minutes also help with lower back pain. Yeah, and that I've noticed as well. So I've had a lot of back pain in the past, and doing this regularly has helped with that. Jean says, I was doing it in my mind as physical limitations prevent me from doing floor activities. I did breathe. Thank you. Thanks, Jean. All right. I'll be back on Thursday or in 48 hours from now. We'll be doing some more basic mindful movement again. So just to kind of top out this mindful movement time, I always like to have a period within our, throughout the year to practice mindful movement at least twice. So next time we'll come back, we'll do some more simple movements, and that will close out the series on mindful movement this time. So thanks so much for being here. I wish you all the best as your day goes on. And as a reminder too, doing yoga practice in your mind has benefit as well. So just not doing it physically, pretending that you're doing it has some benefit as well. All right, I will see you next time. Be well, everybody. We'll close our practice with well wishes. So follow along if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life on this planet throughout the universe, may we all be happy and peaceful. Thanks, CC, for your donation. And thanks a lot for joining in today. See you next time. Bye-bye.